Hello again friends and welcome back to yet another stream. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So as I've previously mentioned, I am tempted to go from warrior to druid or play druid as alt in Shadowlands, specifically Resto Druid, mainly for PvP purposes because I don't think warrior is going to be that effective as a PvP character. Probably be my PvE main. But ultimately what I thought we'd do is do some PvP today, just so I can try and get a little bit used to it. So in terms of it, what I'm going to do is just quickly change the name of the stream because that needs updating. Okay. Sorry about this. Right, so that's that updated. So in terms of the stream, so let's say I have tried a little bit of PvP out last night just so that I could ultimately make sure that I was used to how Druid worked, how it felt a little bit. I've only played 9 games in 2 versus 2 and we won 6 of those, and then I played 4 games of 3 versus 3 of which I won 2. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to start my own group just so that I can get somebody to play with. There we go. So I'll get that listed, see if anyone joins. It was pretty quick last night. I think a lot of people generally look for healers to do arena with. Even if it's low CR and you're new to it, people tend to prefer having a healer, especially Druid. Very brief overview just while we're waiting for somebody to sign up. So the skills that I've gone with now, I had a little look at the skills myself and then I had a little help of just sort of looking around at people who had PvP sort of gear, just to get an idea as to what they were using, just for a general overview as to what might be quite good for PvP talents. So we've got Germination, the double rejuvenation, Stonebark, which is very powerful in PvP, especially compared to the other 2 options. Wild Charge, very helpful. Prosperity, also again very useful. Currently got the Feral Affinity. Movement speed is always good in PvP, and then depending on how the fight is going, you may be able to spend a little bit of time in Feral Spec just to give that additional damage for the group. And then finally we have got Mighty Bash for the stun. Soul of the Forest, again also just that extra little bit of burst healing for when you need it. So let's say PvP wise, haven't really played a great deal of PvP in the past. I've played it a little bit. I think the best that I did in Battle for Azeroth was where was it? So I got to Challenger. I think Challenger was the harder one, but that was back in 2018 December, so that was, you know, when Battle for Azeroth was still very new. So ultimately I'm going to try and get a bit of practice in now ready. Obviously pre-patch comes out tomorrow as well, so we'll see how that goes. Now I've got a Warlock here who has joined, so now that we've got our group together, let's jump straight in. And we'll see how this goes. So one thing that I did notice whilst playing or practicing last night in preparation for today's stream was that Druid is very versatile in terms of escaping enemies, and the stuns are very good. So one of my sort of favourite combos to use, which, you know, I imagine nothing new to anybody, but it's something that I've quite enjoyed, is jumping over into bear form and then using Wild Charge to immobilize an enemy. Can be very handy, especially if you're trying to, you know, peel. In terms of Cyclone is one of the PvP talents that I've chosen. As mentioned in my Resto Druid beta video previously, Cyclone is becoming baseline again for Druids, so that's really handy. Something that happened yesterday was I got the Broken Highland Mustang mount when I was in Arati Highlands, which was a really nice pickup just for, you know, killing a very simple mob, so I was happy with that. So I tend to start the fight in cat form in stealth. Now again, I am totally new to this. I haven't got add-ons set up properly or anything like that, so I appreciate that there's probably going to be a few people who have some choice words to say about my PvP gameplay, but like I say, ultimately this is me just getting used to Druid on a very basic level, just to get some understanding of how it's going to work really. So the first one we've got is a Mistweaver and a Warrior, which will be an interesting combination. Mistweavers, as far as I'm aware, are very strong. But what I might do is open up myself. Right, okay, so he's expecting me to try and come onto him. So what I'll do instead is I will attack the Warrior, just to add a little bit of extra damage on there myself. So that's one of the things that I do like, is the ability to jump away when it comes to using Wild Charge. Seems very powerful. Now these guys have some really nice talents in terms of... so I'm just going to peel the Warrior because he's doing some pretty nasty damage right now. Use Vortex there just to keep him off me. Get around behind here, and then we'll just heal up. So it seems to be going pretty well. The Warlock has managed so far to remove, or to pop the Monk's Bubble, which is really nice. Just going to keep him nice and topped up there. The only thing that I need to try and make sure that I do is just to make sure that I don't end up using up all my mana, because this could end up going a good decent distance, this fight here. So I'm just going to stun the Warrior and make a very quick escape there, because the Warrior does hit hard. So again, I'm just going to Wild Charge away here. So I'm going to use this on myself just to get the Entangling Roots up on the Warrior. Something that I do really like is the ability to keep people off you really well. Right, so it looks like my guy's going to switch to the Warrior here, so we'll just get hit there with the stun. Probably not the best, but I should be able to catch my guy in time. I'm just going to pop this here, do some pretty big heals. I'm going to use this on myself just for the extra healing. Now I want to try, if I can, to Cyclone. So this is where my skills definitely need a bit more work. I'm not very confident when it comes to attacking other people. The Warrior is really putting pressure on the Warlock right now. Okay, so we've just about managed to keep him in the fight there. Now the Monk has been pushed out, but sadly he's a much better player than me by the looks of it. Probably got a lot more practice, I would imagine. He knows I'm trying to stun him. I'm going to stun the Warrior just for the just to reduce some of the damage here, because it's really hurting me the Warlock a lot. It's a switch to me. Just going to get out of there. So I really am struggling to find the ability to get to this guy. I imagine they'll probably make pretty quick work of me if they get the chance. Right, okay. So that didn't go too well, which was probably not the best. Like I say, I've still got a lot to learn, which it's going to be a long process, sadly. But we'll give it another try. I don't know, like I say, in terms of you know, the play, still getting used to it. Sadly, you know, a lot of people who play PvP now have been doing it for a long time, so generally for players who are typically a bit newer, it's probably quite a steep learning curve to get into, but I definitely wouldn't let that put you off. I mean, ultimately, as with most things in the game, you know, if you want to play them long term, you're going to have to get used to it eventually. And I definitely think that PvP is something that could be quite exciting to do, because the thing with PvE is, you know, essentially you are going to do the same dungeons and the same raids over and over again, whereas at least with PvP there's kind of that little bit of difference each time, in the sense that no two player in reality will play the same. You sometimes get it whereby you come up against the same people numerous times, but I don't think that happens very often. So here we go, next matchup that we've got now is a Shadow Priest and a Retribution Paladin. One thing that I will try this time, I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but I will just put a couple of heals up on the Warlock before we start, just in case they try and rush him out the door pretty quick. Right, so I've managed to get my stealth. Paladin's probably going to be looking for me, I would imagine. Or maybe not. Right, so it looks like the Warlock has engaged. So I'll try and help out where I can here. So I'll just get a couple of bleeds up. Okay, so it seems to be going okay for now. Just dispel that. It's getting really heavily trained right now. So this is where I'm gonna just use my stuns a little bit here. And there we go, managed to take out the priest there. So we used the so I used the ability to go into bear form and use the charge, and then once we have the charge there, use the stun, and that gave us just enough to finish him off, which is really nice. So it looks like he's still after me. Just going to stealth here now. Right, I'm just going to heal the Warlock up a little bit. We're not in any rush now. So it's now just simply a case of seeing this fight out. And I'll help out a little bit on the damage now that I can. So that is a win. Chalk that one up. That went pretty well in the end, actually. Just keep him in place, because otherwise he's just going to keep running. So yeah, that went quite well. We got a belt there. Sadly it's 430, so it's not very good, but ultimately that's 50-50 chance of winning now. That went a lot smoother than the first game there. Can't argue with that. It got a little bit touch and go, but the Swift Mend into Regrowth heal seemed to do quite a good amount to the Warlock that I'm playing with there, keep him alive, so that was quite handy. So to the next match we have got a Fire Mage and a Frost Death Knight. So this I imagine is going to be quite a tough fight, because the damage from Fire Mages is ridiculous, and Frost well, Death Knights in general are very good at mitigating spell damage, so with us being a Warlock combination, I imagine that's going to be quite a tough fight, but we'll see how it goes. Happy so far though. I think, you know, in terms of getting used to stunning and things like that, it's something I'm going to have to be a lot more aware of. But in terms of, you know, sort of how it generally feels, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I don't know whether using add-ons like Voodoo is very good, but I'm not sure. Okay, so the guy wanted me to take his spell, but it looks like I didn't get it in time, sadly. So I'm just going to say, yeah, so we managed to kill off the Fire Mage, which was really nice. Just going to use the heals here from the boosted regrowth. And it looks like we should be pretty much set on this one as well. So that was a really, I'm not sure what burst the Warlock managed to use there, but that was pretty insane. Just going to wait till that drops off, and then I'll get involved here, do a bit of damage. I know it's not a lot, but every little helps. And then I'll go in and hit him with a stun. There we go. Nice. So that worked out really well. Another good one. So he wants me to take renewal for the 30%, but I honestly feel like Wild Charge is a better option personally. Because it's 30% every 1.5 seconds, which isn't a great deal. Whereas the 15-second on Wild Charge just feels like it gives you a lot more utility. I could be wrong, but that's just based on what I sort of feel at the moment, to be honest. So we are now coming up against Mistweaver Monk and Enhancement Shaman. Mistweaver Monks seem to be the one that really caused me a lot of problem. Their mobility is insane. I know Druids have very good mobility as well, but it just seems like they are on a different level. I mean, that other guy was probably just a lot better in terms of, you know, kiting around pillars and things like that, but ultimately it definitely didn't seem to go as smooth when I was trying to fight them as it has done the last 2 games. So hopefully I can do a little bit better. I think it's just down to me. I need to get used to kiting more around pillars, especially when because the one we was Mistweaver Warrior, definitely could have done a lot better in that one. And this one's Enhancement Shaman, so again it's going to be another melee class trying to chase. So I think pillars are going to be quite important here. So I'm just going to do a couple of pre-hots because I can. So they've gone for a very early stun on me there, which I am surprised by. I'm going to try and get the bleeds up on. So I'm going to go for the Cyclone here. Didn't work. Okay, we've got the Cyclone off on the Druid. Right, that was my bad. I've just stacked. Okay, so I accidentally stacked heals there, stuns, sorry, which wasn't very good. Definitely need to do better at that. I'm going to Cyclone the Shaman. Okay, got nature locked. Just going to try that again. So I'll put the Vortex just to stop him getting away. I've got the full Cyclone up now. I'm going to go for another Cyclone. Got it again. Should be enough, hopefully, for him to finish him off. Yep, there we go. Oh no, he hasn't. Didn't get him, sadly. So I'm just going to go into cat form now, just apply a couple of debuffs. Okay, so this is where the chitin needs to come in. So we're just going to drag him around. So that seemed to work pretty well. We seem to kite him quite nicely. Now I'm just going to go for the cyclone. Got full cyclone up here. I'm just going to make sure I get the next one in as well, if I can. So we've got another cyclone off. So I'm going to get some hits off on the monk now, just to try and get his health a little bit lower while I can. Pop the haste trinket just for that extra little bit of help. Okay, he's used cocoon himself. So I'm going to come around now, round the back. I'm going to stun. Didn't get the stun off, sadly. Feel like my mouse is letting me down. So get the stun. No, my mouse is definitely letting me down. I'm not sure what's going on here. Right, finally got the stun. Although I feel like it was at the total wrong time. Okay, we almost got nuked down there. Just about managing to survive for now. Right, this is the opportunity. So I now need to try if I can. So not going too well at the moment. We just can't seem to quite get that final hit that's required to finish these guys off.
I must get closer.
Okay, I've stunned the shaman because he seemed to be going pretty ham at that point there. I'm just going to cyclone him now just for the peel. Okay, he's immune, so no cyclone. Use the swift mend regrowth combo there. I'm going to pop life bloom on myself just for the additional heals. Now I'm going to go for the cyclone on the shaman. I'm going to go around. Okay, so we're going to use the same combination again, but I'm pretty much out of mana now. I'm going to cyclone the... Try and get as much damage up as I can. Almost got my stun. Stun's up. That's as best as I can do for this guy. He's going to have to try and get that last bit of damage out if he can. Okay, we've almost got him. Okay, nice. Whew, that was close. So I'm just going to make sure that I keep him up now. Yes, whew, that was a very close match, but we just about managed to pull it through. Wow. So that was very tough. That was a really nice game. Very hard fought, but we managed to get there in the end. The Mistweaver tried to run around the pillar, but we got the really nice Ursol's Vortex to keep him in place, jump into cat form and just finished him off as well. So that was a really nice fight there, very happy with that one. So we are now up to 863 rating, which I know is again, you know, nothing in the grand scheme of things. The top players are all like over sort of 3k, but this is me practicing Druid for the first time, and it's definitely different from what I've done before. Now, this is going to be a tough one because, again, we're going in with the Warrior Mistweaver combination. I'm going to stick with the talents that I have currently got for the time being. Mistweavers are always going to be the one that I need to, I think, learn more about, just because the mobility is so strong. But thankfully, yes, I agree, this is going to be a tough one. This is a mirror of the first match that we had, so this is going to be difficult. But we'll do what we can. This is only a bit of fun at the end of the day. So I'm just going to try and pre-heal this guy again as much as I can, just because I think this is going to be a tough one. So let's get ourselves into stealth, not shadow. Let's get ourselves into stealth here. So I'm just going to do as much as I can, just to sort of add a little bit of pressure onto the monk where possible. Not a lot, but it's something. And he didn't like it. I'm just going to stun the warrior there, just because I think he's going to start hurting my friend pretty nastily here. So I'm just going to pop out of that. Get the regrowth off. Cast the cyclone. So we have now got the cyclone off here. It's not going to win anything for us, but it might just give that little bit of extra help. Just to keep some of the pressure off for now. Okay, so they're going, looks like they're going to try, or they were trying to go for the kill there, but it didn't work out for them. In terms of damage, however, it doesn't look like we're really making much progress here ourselves. So I'm just going to try and help out again where I can. Put a couple of dots down, nothing major. Yeah, this will probably be the end of us here, I should imagine. Unless I can get very lucky. Okay, we did manage to just about survive that one. But monks just have like so many stuns in their arsenal, so much mobility. Okay, that was poor play by me in trying to stun somebody who is unstunnable, which is never a good idea. I'm just going to pop this up just for the additional hots. Okay, so I need to, if I can, try and get the cyclone off. So we did manage to get the cyclone there. Sadly, the Ursul's Vortex didn't work out the way I had hoped. just going for big heals here because there's no way that, yeah, I can't heal through that. Cannot heal through that whatsoever. It's, yeah, the guy's not happy about monks, I agree, they are stupid. They just have so much utility in PvP, it's just insane. You know, they've got stuns, they've got movement, like their ability to move around is so fast. Just not ideal. But ultimately, it is just a practice, just trying to get used to it. I think Mistweavers in 2v2 are a very strong class to play as. Druid is very good, don't get me wrong, especially if you're in a match that's 2 DPS. Druid healers will generally tend to come out on top, but ultimately you can only do what you can do. So we are coming up this time against Fire Mage, and who's his partner going to be? So far just the Fire Mage. Someone will join though. Tend to just leave it a little bit late. Although you can get the occasional match whereby nobody does join, which is just generally like free conquest. So far I've got 127 conquests, we're now up to 14 games played. So we've played 5 matches so far and we've won 3 of those. The 2 that we've lost have both been the same combination, which is Warrior and Mistweaver. Warrior doing a surprising amount of damage, to be honest with you. I always thought Warrior's damage was pretty low in PvP, or at least the mobility let them down too much. But it seems like that's not the case, surprisingly. It looks like this is just going to be a free win from what I can see here, because it's just the one Fire Mage, but you never know, might end up getting surprised. So we'll just have a hunt around. Right, he's found him. So I'm just going to go with the big heals first and foremost here, because I'm well aware of the damage that Fire Mages can output. And then we'll get in there and we'll just add a little bit of extra damage ourselves, just to make sure that we definitely get the guy killed. Yeah, I think that was only ever going to go one way. I'm not quite sure why he was in on his own, if the person that he was queuing with had left, or if it was a bug, I'm not sure. But hey ho, free win, I'll take it. We're not quite at the level yet. I think it's, excuse me, once you hit 1600 or above, that's when you start earning wins towards the amount. Now, there's not going to be enough time because pre-patch drops tomorrow, so for anybody who wasn't aware, pre-patch day tomorrow. Finally getting some new content, nice changes coming through into Retail WoW, so I will most likely be doing a stream tomorrow just to showcase the changes of pre-patch and having a look at that. Depending on this video and if people enjoy this one, how this goes, then ultimately I may then look at doing more PvP tomorrow, because it's something that I'm quite enjoying. If anybody watches the stream, I think it looks like there's somebody watching now, but if anybody watches the stream and wants to do PvP with me, or you know, anything like that, then just drop a message in the live chat, let me know, and we'll sort something out. But next match we've got coming up here is going to be a tough one. So we have got Retribution Paladin and Unholy DK, both classes which can hit hard. So this could be quite difficult, but ultimately, again, I just need to remember this is just a practice, so any rating that I get is just a bonus. So it looks like the Warlock is quite concerned about the damage that's going to come out here. Let's see what happens. The thing I need to be mainly worried about is making sure that I get into stealth fast enough, because I do not want to get caught out without being in stealth. So I'm just going to put down a couple of quick heals, get into cat form and go in stealth. I need to make sure that I am away because I do not want to get caught by the death and decay. Okay, so he's popping his shield. It looks like he was very concerned about me. So I'm going to stun the Death Knight there. Then we're going to Ursul's Vortex and get out of there ourselves. He's popped a stun on me, so I'll now do reduced damage. So I'm just going to try and make sure I can do my best to keep away from this guy. It looks like one of them's already dead. So that's gone pretty nicely for us. Just going to heal myself up. Just going to try and keep away from the Death Knight as best I can because he is hitting me pretty hard now. So I'll get the stun off on him just to give myself that little bit of extra respite there. Do the Swift Mend Regrowth combo. There we go, we're up to full now, so we should be pretty good to go. I won't bother using Trinket yet, there's no need to. Ursul's Vortex just to keep him in place and keep him off me. And then I'm going to hide around here just until I can get stealth up, because he shouldn't be able to kill a Warlock. And then we'll just do the extra little bit just to help out and finish the fight off. So there we go, there's another pretty successful win. Warlock seemed kind of worried about that one at first, but that went pretty well. I think had they both just trained the Warlock, then that probably would have been a much harder fight to win, but the fact that they split and the Death Knight decided to try and chase me, I think that was a pretty bad decision, because the best that they did was get us both to around 50% health. So not the best idea that they probably had, but hey ho, that's one of the things that I've noticed with PvPs. It all just boils down to the decisions that you make, and ultimately I think that was a poor one by them to split their targets. They should have just gone for one, but worked out well for us. That was a pretty good fight, I would say. So yeah, I mean, ultimately I am enjoying my PvP. I've been doing some PvE dungeons on Druid as well, just because I want to get used to both ways of playing PvE and PvP. The best I've done so far was a +6. It was a +6 Shrine of the Storm. It went pretty well. We actually had quite a few deaths, but the reason being is that the Mythic Plus affix was bursting and the tank just kept taking these like massive groups on. They all kept dying at the same time, and then it was ultimately a situation whereby we were left with massive amounts of debuffs on, and it was just impossible to heal through it. But once he stopped taking those big groups and we just started taking normal sized groups, it went really smoothly. So that was quite nice. I might try and push another one tonight a bit higher, because +6 is the best that I've done so far, that you can see there. So I might try and push that a little bit higher, just so that I can hopefully try to get a nice item in my chest tomorrow, because it's going to be a time for chest tomorrow. So I want to try and see if I can get that a bit higher. Obviously I've completed my conquest for this week as well, so I should get a PvP chest also. Just got to keep an eye out here for any potential rogues floating around. So I've got double assassination rogue here, which is not a nice combination. So I'm just going to keep floating around. Do not like the idea of right, so that's, I think it was my guy got sapped potentially there, but I'm not 100% certain. So I'm just going to keep floating around, just waiting to see if any of the rogues actually appear. I don't know whether the tactic is to just wait until we get bored or what, I'm not quite sure. The worst part is when they come out of stealth, they'll probably do so much damage, especially with like the smoke bombs, that I probably won't even be able to heal it anyway, so I'm not sure why they're waiting. But hey ho. So be interesting to see if we can try and like find one, because if we can catch one out, that would be really handy. The temptation is for me to just come out of stealth myself anyway. Right, I've been sapped. Lol. Okay, that was just like ridiculous. Yeah, the damage from that, from a combination of two assassination rogues like that, was just impossible for me to even comprehend, to be fair. The fact that they managed to find me was just very lucky. But I expect nothing less from rogues, to be honest. So has this guy left, or is he still in there? No, he must have left. I don't blame him. I mean, to be fair, that was a very crazy match. Two rogues, not a good combination to come up against. But so far, 1052 rating, 17 played, 6, 11 won, so it means we've lost 6, won 11. So touch wood, so far it's a pretty good return. You know, for somebody who's new to Druid, doesn't have any weak auras or add-ons set up or anything like that, this is just purely just a bit of practice, just to get used to how Druid feels. I'm pretty happy with that so far. As I mentioned before, I will be still doing some Mythic Plus as well, just to sort of get used to that. As you can see, I haven't done a great deal. It's just, this is something that's totally new to me. The main thing that I've been doing previously was just playing on doing horrific visions and things like that. So definitely excited to try this out. Now it looks like we've potentially got the same guys again, the Paladin and Unholy Death Knight combination. So we'll see if they fare a little bit better this time. I wonder if they might do what they did the previous time and split, or if they might actually go for the tactic of both training one person and going from there. I think they'll probably go for one person this time. I doubt that they're going to, you know, do the same tactic like they did before, but that's one of the fun things, is to see if that's the case or not. Like I say, it's always different in PvP, which is one of the things that I definitely do like about it. It's a shame Blizzard don't seem to be that bothered about taking care of PvP. It is very unbalanced at the moment, but at the end of the day, I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to give any sort of, like, you know, analysis or anything like that, because I'm definitely not in a position to be doing that. So he's most likely going to try and Death and Decay me out of stealth again, because he did try that last time. Thankfully, he doesn't know which position I'm in, so I'm going to make sure that I just hot up the Warlock nice and early here, because he's going to take some mega damage. Okay, that was really good. He managed to get the Death Knight off the edge, which was a really nice touch there. So I'm going to stun the Death Knight, sorry, because he's doing a lot of damage there. Well, they both are doing a lot of damage, to be fair. Put an Ursol's Vortex down just to keep him in place as long as I can. Now I'm going to Cyclone the Paladin. Cyclone again, just for as much reduction to damage as I can possibly get. I'm just going to kite this pet around the crates here. Okay, the Paladin needs to come off, because he's doing a lot of damage. He's in his burst there. So we've got a nice Cyclone off on the Paladin. Just going to jump straight into another one there just for the double Cyclone. Then I'm going to do the stun with Mighty Bash, and that should be enough to, yep, that saw them off. See that there seemed to work really well. I felt like that was a good combination even by myself. You know, I managed to get the combination of both double cyclone and then into the Mighty Bash, which was a great stun combo. Now just helping out with some extra damage on there as well. So I myself felt like that was a much better bit of play, so I was very happy with that. Can't imagine the Paladin's too happy, but there we go. Got a gold strongbox, I'm not quite sure what that contains. It might be Marks of Honor actually, which would be pretty handy because I would like some Marks of... yeah, nice, got a couple of Marks of Honor, so that's good. Just because I would like to use those to buy some of the PvP sets that I need to finish off, so that was quite nice. It's only usable in Battlegrounds, I thought it was usable in arenas, so that's not a problem, but yeah, that was a good fight. The Paladin, so we did Cyclone into Mighty Bash. Just kept the Paladin out long enough. He'd already used Bubble once on the on the Death Knight, so that was a really nice combination just to give the Warlock enough time to finish them two off, and then, like I say, just helping out at the end in feral form. So that felt like a good fight. I was happy with that one. We are now currently at 1145 rating, so going pretty well. Happy with that. Druid just feels good. I do like the way that it feels. I like shape shifting, moving in between. This will be a tough one because stealth isn't going to make any difference here because Demon Hunters can see through stealth, and Holy Paladins are crazy strong. So this will be a tough fight, I imagine. I'm still going to just stick with the same talents that I had previously, with it being a melee class fight, and I think that these two together is going to be really handy. Feral Affinity here, probably not the best, but ultimately I just don't feel like that's going to make a huge difference. Iron Fur, this was something I touched on the Resto beta overview, so you'll notice there that Iron Fur is actually something you get for having Guardian Affinity. That is also becoming baseline in Shadowlands, so it looks like that's going to be a nice little bonus for Druids. Doesn't look too bad actually, the gold and purple set, so if I can get that full set, that would be pretty nice. As mentioned, I know it doesn't really make a difference, but I am still going to go into kitty cat form, just on the off chance that I might be able to get a bleed off on this guy. Okay, so that's something new, something that I haven't done yet, which was to use Entangling Roots on my enemy. So that was definitely helped quite a bit. Just going to try and make sure this guy gets actually caught by the Reversal Vortex this time, which he did. Alright, I'm going to pop Bark Skin there just because he's going pretty hefty damage on me right now. Okay, nice. So my guys actually managed to get a nice peel off there, which was very handy. Hopefully get a Cyclone. Didn't quite manage to get the Cyclone off, sadly. But he has been feared, so if I can now get over here and do the Mighty Bash stun. And then we'll go into the double Cyclone. Didn't quite get it off, got stunned, interrupted, sorry. Just want to make sure that I get away from this. Okay, I've been stunned again, this isn't good. This is definitely not good. Definitely not good. Yeah, okay. So that was a tough fight. Felt like it was going okay at one point, but then they just seemed to get on top of us. In terms of it, I mean, I don't know, The thing is, it's most likely going to be my issue. I'm still very new to it. I definitely don't feel like Warlock is the best partner for Druid personally, just because I feel like I don't know really, it's hard to say. I shouldn't really say that because I don't know, I'm not skilled enough, I haven't put enough time into it, but I definitely don't feel like Warlock is the partner that I particularly enjoy having that much. I prefer the sort of melee classes to heal. But as it stands right now, we are going into a fight against Demonology, no, not Demonology, no one play that, Destruction Warlock and Fire Mage. So this is going to be really, really tough. Really tough. Just purely on the basis that these two both can hit ridiculously hard. So this should be an interesting little fight that we've got on our hands here. Yeah, I've only got the belt from that set, so I really don't see me getting the rest of the pieces, sadly. What are we on to now? We're about halfway through that bar, that's not bad. So here we go, another fight. Just get a couple of pre-hots up because I think we're going to need it for this one here. Right, so... Okay, he didn't like that. The mage did not like that. I'm gonna go with the stun on the mage just because I feel like he's gonna... Okay, this is definitely tough. The damage that these two guys are able to pump out is insane. Thankfully, he has now finally come back here to give me a chance to but yeah, I can't keep up with the damage output on those two. It's just insane. We got close, but the chain stuns were just insane, and there was a little bit of time where I was line of sight, so never mind. That was it was a good effort. Always just make sure that we stay happy. That's the main thing with PvP, because at the end of the day, I've played PvP like a long time ago in the past, and as soon as you start letting it get too much, it's your ability just goes out the window when you let it go over. The Warlock just let me know that he's actually a classic player typically. I mean, I am enjoying this a lot. It would just be nice to potentially be able to play with comms, to be honest, because I think it makes PvP a lot easier. So we'll maybe do a couple more matches because they're pretty quick to get into. Don't want to overdo it. Not that I think I could. I mean, I could probably sit and do this for a long time, but ultimately, you know, I don't want the stream to go on for too long. It's the middle of the day. I don't think we'll get many people watching. It's just saying he wants to try and get to 1.8k CR, but I'm not quite sure what he's at the moment. So his CR is a lot higher than mine, which is why we must be coming up against people who are a bit more difficult and challenging. I definitely need to remember Health Stone, so that's something I need to remember. My Azurite Power as well. I mean, it's hard because I haven't really used it whatsoever. I really need to sort out my keybinds because this is just like a very loose keybind setup, like nothing's set up very well here. It's just mainly just so that I could get going, and it's sort of, you know, when you start using things like Voodoo, PvE wise, it's just sort of unnecessary to have a lot of the different keybinds and things set up, because this just works anyway. So I knew he was just going to bait that out, because I knew they were going to come for me anyway, so I figured I might as well just bait that out and get rid of it. I am currently stuck. Okay, that's me dead. Yeah, I got like, there was just nothing there whatsoever. They were on me from the start. That was my bad. I shouldn't have run out, to be honest with you. Again, I should be kiting, but the two of them together just kept me stunned for a very long time. Sadly, Demon Hunter's damage seems to be very high, and he was able to stick to me really well as well, because they've got the double jump. So normally, you know, coming down and up the ledges is quite handy, but the double jump up there, I mean, the damage was insane between the pair of them. But yeah, that was my bad, I would say, in overall in that one. Definitely wasn't my best performance. I need to make sure that when I'm coming up against Demon Hunters, they can see me. So for me to just like run out like that is kind of pointless, and definitely doesn't benefit me or my partner that I'm currently playing with. So I need to make sure that I don't just run out when I'm against somebody who can see through stealth. Also, again, didn't use Healthstone. I literally just mentioned it in that fight, and I didn't use it, so that was once again a very poor mistake by me. But we will just go again. That's the main thing about PvP, and one of the things I do really like about PvP, especially Arena, is that you come out and you just go straight back in. You don't have to wait, you know. I know, thankfully as a healer there isn't really queue times if you're doing anything that requires the LFG tool, and ultimately finding groups is pretty easy anyway. But ultimately with PvP you can stay in one place and just jump in and out whenever you like. Very handy. So this time we are up against Death Knight and Fire Mage, so it's going to be another pretty tasty match, this one, I should imagine. Won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Out comes the Death Knight there. One thing that I have noticed is that putting a bit of pressure down on these guys, they do not like it. I'm just going to make sure that I kite, because I know for a fact that the mage is going to try and catch me if he can, so I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. Death Knight's also after me. So I'm just going to need some pretty big heals right now. I'm going to take out the Death Knight with a Cyclone. Okay, I'm going to get out of that one just because I don't like the damage that's being put down on me at present there. Stun the Death Knight there, just to keep him out of the way. The mage is pretty much done, but he's not quite there. Right, the mage is dead now, so that's it. We've won that one. Nice game. GG, my friend. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere now. We've won that one. Nice. So that was a very nice fought battle there. So I'm now up to 1234 rating, which, considering we started at like 500, I would say is pretty good. I am going to call it there, so I'm just going to let this guy know. Just going to let him know it'll be on YouTube. And then we will end. It's asking for the link. Just one moment there. Right, okay, this isn't something that I was expecting. I didn't expect him to ask for a channel link. Just give me 2 moments, guys. So I'm just going to sort this out. I'm just trying to remember how to actually get it. A link to my channel. Because I'm still not 100% au fait with how to use YouTube that well. I definitely wish that I was better at it. Right, okay. I definitely need to get better at this. Right, does this work? Let me just check to make sure that does actually work before I send that to him. Yes, that does work. Oh man, he left the party. Right, hang on. So I'll send him that. Okay, well thanks very much for watching, guys. Sorry about that little bit at the end there. The guy asked me a message and I wasn't sure on the best way to go about it, but we got there in the end. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next stream. Hopefully do some more PvP. Let me know if you enjoyed and subscribe if you can, because ultimately I want to hit 10 subscribers, which would be great. But thanks for now, take care.